Do you think I should dye my hair blonde for the summer? I want to get your opinion on this.
No.
What?
No.
Why?
We were just talking about how we needed a blonde on the show.
It just would change everything. And it's like...
You met her blonde, right?
I met you blonde. I thought you were blonde. And then suddenly you were brunette. And it took so long for me to adjust. I said, oh, Erin's brunette. And so for you to go back, it undoes all this work
that you've had to do.
I'm moved to tears.
Yeah, whoa.
No, it could be fun for summer for sure.
Oh, okay. Yeah. She's back in.
Chat, what do you think Amelia has? Comment below.
Hey, podcast listeners. I'm not in a good mood. No,
you're in a great mood.
Yeah.
Me neither. I'm not in a good mood. I'm in a great podcast mood.
And I actually danced and did cartwheels into the space and said, I'm never been happier. Let's holly jolly Christmas it.
Yes.
Things keep getting better. So you don't think she should go blonde?
I just think, like whatever you want to do, you should do.
Right.
Happy Sister Day, by the way.
Happy Sister Day. Congratulations. Sister is out everywhere now. By everywhere, I mean YouTube, Short of the Week.
Yeah. Yes. We went ahead and released to 2.1 million followers on Short of the Week YouTube. Check it out. They had some lovely things to say.
Yes.
And also, they mean even more because they had some critiques, which... That's what we do professionally. I respect it. Like
all
if somebody
press is good press.
Wait, what were the critiques?
Something about a stilted performance, something like that. I don't even remember.
Oh.
But it's still nicer than it's like, there is, of course, the first YouTube comment that says, here before things before the comments get bad. What's it
Here
say?
Before the comments become a disaster.
Oh my God.
Fellow trans femme, if you're listening. And if you're here from Sister, well, you're here with two of the minds behind it and one of the lives who
was affected by it.
and the victims of it. Oh my God. Well,
congrats, girl. I'm so happy for you.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you. I knew when it was just an idea and now it's out. That's so cool.
It is so cool. And it's such an amazing film. And I've gotten so many texts and people sharing it today. And it's so awesome that everyone gets to see your talent and hard work.
Literally.
Even if it's a little stilted.
But they also compared it to 30 Rock, quote, which is the gold standard.
Yeah, the writing, and Tina Fey wasn't an actress either.
You know what the first
I would
comment...
say stilted.
The first comment on Tina being in that Netflix show was, I can't believe she's back to acting. She's so stilted.
Yeah, I was going to say the first comment was here before the comments are a disaster. Tina, love you, girl.
Yeah. No, I do love Tina. Oh my God, it could not be more clear. Tina, love you, girl.
I don't mind.
Tina invented me, and I love her.
I ride for Tina and all of her opinions.
Is she in the files?
Tina's
Wouldn't
not
bother
in the
me.
files.
Somebody is like, you got to be looking at everybody up in the files.
Oh my God. Somebody at the mic tonight was like, my mom won't stop calling Epsom salt baths the Epstein bath. And they're like, no, Mom, it's Epsom salt. And then she's like, no, it's not. Like, you can believe what you want, but I know it's Epstein.
It's tearing this country
awesome.
apart. The Epsom files are tearing this country apart.
Welcome to Stream Queens the Pod.
I'm Julia.
I'm Amelia.
I'm Erin. Julia is the Tribeca Film Festival darling. Watch her short film Sister on Short of the Week YouTube.
Erin is, of course, the Emmy Award-winning producer behind your favorite television shows. That's not going to work as well because Amelia is supposed to do that one. Should we give it another try? Or you want to keep going? Amelia is the high priestess of Girl Church and the divine host of Girls Rewatch Podcast. She is here for the third installment of the Hunger Games. We're covering Mockingjay parts 1 and 2 as a part 3.
Yeah.
Which, let that be a note. We could have covered this. We could have made a movie. Can you?
And Erin is the Emmy Award-winning producer.
I think we already said that part. Do you want to say the part about how we do? Do you want to say what the podcast is? Like what we do here?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And we are Bushwick intellectuals that tell lies and spread misinformation every day and in every way.
Yes,
And
that
we're
was so
not going to
good.
stop. Hell
And
yeah.
we're never ever stopping.
This is another sleepover with our friend Amelia.
Can I just say, you guys, I was reviewing my March vision board paragraph that I wrote, and one thing I wrote was, be a guest on 3 podcasts I respect. And this is my 3rd recording of a podcast I respect.
Yes!
Checkbox.
And by the way, she's been on other podcasts this month. So check it out. Check out Amelia on the other podcast.
Check out Amelia on all the other podcasts.
Once you're finished with this one, of course, we are so after like for chat, like we finished up here last week. Like the couch isn't just a place that we work; it's a place that we live.
Yeah,
This is a working couch.
it is.
And we sat down right after what we came last week, and we said we got to see what the Mockingjay is up to.
This is a working couch. Yeah, we watched Mockingjay Part 1.
Yeah, and then we separately kind of gave Mockingjay Part 2 a viewing, and
We separately engaged with that one, and now we're back to really just go in full force on both.
honestly, like overall reactions to kind of Mockingjay Part 1 and 2, I would say like sad, very sad,
Kind of boring.
kind of boring, and then I really like the ending.
But also still very sad.
So sad.
I just want to
Sad.
remind everybody that, like, yes, it's a good ending, but it is still very upsetting.
Very, very sad.
Dark. I kind of felt like we love Susan Sarandon Collins on this show.
Yeah.
Can't give her enough. Like I don't want to say like I don't want to give too much of a critique. Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I swear to God.
Stilted performance.
Literally, I'm like, I just feel like something about like I'm just in my head today because I don't want to appear stilted. And
Yeah.
at first I was afraid you were projecting. We started Hunger Games and I was like, the Mockingjay, I was like, this is going to be a fucking slog. And some of it, I'm happy it was. I wanted to ask you, what do you do on days when you just are not feeling like podcasting?
I usually lash out at my close friend.
And co-host though, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I would prefer we don't try that today.
You know what really takes the edge off?
Yeah.
Saying how I feel out loud, no matter who it hurts.
Girl, you are Katniss, for real. Katniss is her. We are getting to the. You've made so many good points. You both of you on this working couch, like while we watch these movies. Like this is poor Katniss just run through the ringer and just it continues to be kind of like all of us really kind of this Gen Z generation Z is like. We are constantly thrown into outcomes of other people and the generations before us as problems and kind of just like panting. This poor girl has no time to think. And you're right. Like, why would she be able to trust anyone when she's just reacting to circumstances that are beyond her control?
Yeah. I mean, a couple, like when we think about like what we're going to talk about on this podcast and this kind of like everything that happens in part 1 and 2, right? Like, I'm like, we got PETA, we got the Mutt thing, right? We got kind of the District 13, we got kind of the coin thing, we got kind of and then there's other stuff that happens, like the killing the children. Guys, what the hell?
I'm like, do we want to?
Primrose dies.
Primrose dies, that sucks.
Which I don't know if y'all remember, but the whole point of the first and second film was to save her sister.
Primrose.
So for her to just go up and die
I know.
carelessly, recklessly.
No, the way that like that was actually
loss of life.
the senseless loss of life in the Mockingjay Part 2. Like when they bombed the children and then bombed the medics, I was like, I know this whole premise of the Hunger Games is like the children are dying. We've been seeing children die for all of these films, but I was like, this is a bit too far even for me.
Have you guys ever played the game Jenga?
Yeah.
You know, when someone gets pissed off and they're like, fuck it, I'm gonna lose, and they just slap it down and it all explodes. That's what Primrose being exploded felt like.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Like you just are like, I'm out completely. I think that what this film lacks in kind of being interesting or being concise.
Yeah.
It makes up for in kind of like aphorisms and just kind of floating ideas.
Real or not real?
Real or not real. This is real, but it's also not real.
Maybe real or not real can be our always.
Okay. Comment your favorite real or not real below. But one thing that like this film deals with that I think that is probably on all of our hearts and minds right now is who lives, who dies, who tells our story. Like what is the value of a life? Who gets to decide that? And like when you talk about you kind of, Erin gives a little President Snow, but you've got the best characteristics.
I give a little President Snow.
Yeah.
Well, for
In
sure.
what way? Wait.
Yeah, Erin.
I'm obviously President Snow. In what way?
I'm going to throw that to Amelia. Amelia, do you?
Do I feel that she's President Snow?
Well, you just said absolutely, and then she asked.
There's
I'll have you know, she said absolutely, but then nodded at me with kind of like a I don't mean it thing.
I did it to complete the joke, but I can actually.
But I'd love to hear both. I'd love to hear everyone's take on what I might have in common with President Snow.
What I think Julia meant when she said that
Spin it.
was that you kind of have a very like clear sense of like. No, it's not going to be this, or like the way you operate in the world is like you're in or you're out. There's no sort of like let me play the side. You're like, no, fuck them. That's so fucking stupid.
Right.
In a very President Snow way, where he's like, he's made his bed, he'll bury himself in it, or whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
It's
see.
what
it's
you
my
said.
decisiveness.
Well, it's kind of actually a little bit of the meltdown you had before the podcast about Taylor, Frankie, Paul, and The Bachelor, where you said, I just don't like when somebody does something that I wouldn't do.
Major Frankie Paul did what now?
Major Frankie Paul. Okay, so I'm like, we have to get into this because, like, just for a second, I'm so pissed at the execs at ABC for what's going down with Taylor, Frankie, Paul right now. Like, here's the thing. The video is really bad. What she did is bad. However, it happened in 2023. It also is the inciting incident of the series of season 1 of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. Why that video coming out now means they're going to cancel the most highly anticipated season of The Bachelorette that we've had in years when they've already shot, edited, and promoted it makes no fucking sense to me. You knew who she was when she casted her. So, like, why are we walking back now? And that's just like a choice I would never have made. It's a room I want to be in. She threw a chair at a
baby. It's not like she said the president was bad. You can't just cancel her show.
Thank you.
Literally, she just assaulted like a child.
She was trying to assault her fucking Dakota, and he had it coming. And I just feel like
he shouldn't have used the baby as a shield.
Yes, he shouldn't have used the baby as a shield. And also, larger point is, it's old. Everyone's acting like this video happened yesterday. Just because she obviously strangled him with a necklace like very recently.
Oh, so that was a separate incident?
There's a separate incident, I think, where I think it's happening again. But also I think this video coming out is just another instance of Dakota just trying to fucking sabotage her.
The more I learn, the more I'm like, you know what? I'm sure trend forecasters spoke to the CEOs and said, let's just stop right here and let's bring a basic bitch back into the scene. That's really nice and nothing's ever happened to her.
I do think that's true, but I just think it's a mistake. I just think like the Bachelor franchise, like choosing Taylor, Frankie, Paul is a crazy choice to go in a very specific direction, which means like we're going into crazier reality TV.
No, we bought in.
We bought in. We're going to give you guys serious drama. We're not really going to pretend this is all about, I don't know, marriage and finding love. Like we're going to give you a drama-filled, crazy show. But like,
they shouldn't have done
to walk it back now, and they probably are rebranding and being like, oh, we don't want someone who's like this fucking wild on our show. We want it to be more wholesome and like a sweet kind of basic girl. But I'm like, why? You already made that choice. It's too late to walk it back for me.
Well, you know what this reminds me of? HBO Max to HBO to Max. No, sorry.
Oh, to Max.
HBO Max to Max, right back to HBO Max. Where it's like you made us and you did this whole thing and you spent so much money. I wouldn't be shocked if my university that rebranded 3 years ago rebrands right back where they started.
Yeah.
Y'all want to be Robbie Hoffman so bad? Let HBO freak it. If somebody wants to do be a little freaky. I think where Bachelor crossed the line. I think that where the Bachelor crossed the line is they shouldn't have done that like Bachelor date at the bowling alley where they were playing throw the chair at the baby. That was not okay.
Right.
That's what I have to say on that matter.
What are they doing?
But the relationship, what makes you President Snow about that is that you said regarding the choice to not do the season, I've been in a bad mood all day because I just hate when somebody makes a decision that I would never make and don't think they should make. And that's a little bit President Snow. And similarly, you said something along the lines of value of a life, like killing children for a reason. And President Snow at the end is like,
now, when did I say something about killing children for a reason?
Right. So
no.
viewers
in what context was that?
Viewers of this podcast, and by this podcast I mean this episode, will remember the point at which you said, this whole thing has ostensibly been about, killing children, but this is too much.
Even for me. Yeah.
And that's kind of President Snow's thing. He's like,
look,
I kill kids, but it's for very specific. He's like, this is wasteful. Prue shouldn't have died. That was wasteful, which is something we all share. Prue shouldn't have died. It was wasteful.
Right. Prue?
Primrose. Thank you. R.I.P. Prue still, by the way.
She's just one of the kids.
Oh, Rue, the first one.
Rue from the first
Prue
one.
Leith is, of course, one of the... And she's retiring, too. One of the judges of Great British Bake Off. It's just not...
We're experiencing a lot of loss tonight.
It's such a crazy...
No, so many cannons in the air, cannon fire in the air. One thing that on the concept of life and death and value, and I think this is ultimately the podcast, is the scene at the end, right? There's so much idea of right, wrong, life. Like people... Well, maybe let's start with this. Another perspective of life, like Joanna, like where you, because Amelia asked a really powerful question, which is like, if human lives don't matter to you, then trying to talk about the value of a life, like it's not going to be a good strategy.
It's like a wedding party. Like the groom just like doesn't like Coke and doesn't care about Coke and doesn't want it there.
Yeah.
And so it's like, why are we spending money? It's like, well, like, why are we doing all of this? The worst example I could come up with. But like, or even like the argument.
Is
like
she,
cocaine?
Is she talking about cocaine?
No, I'm talking about Coca-Cola. But
damn it. Then that is a bad example.
I was just like, oh yeah, like the groom doesn't do Coke, but the
girlfriend's friends from New York
does.
are in.
And so and she's got cocaine in the budget. Like they gotta get.
It's almost the Instagram reels of it all, where it's like, I threw a wedding and my family's sober, so of course there will be no alcohol at the wedding, and then everybody attending the wedding is making reels like, what the hell? Like, just don't you want to throw an event? Like, fuck you. Like,
interesting. And that's
the one thing I'm sure that's going to be at my wedding is the fucking little drinks from the Capitol that make you throw up.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if either of those analogies that I just built out actually connect to what you're saying.
Well, you only got through one because we built like a better story where it was like a divide about cocaine. Like,
yeah.
But I'm glad you guys stepped in because I don't think I was going to land that plane.
No, and I'm just sitting over here thinking about, I'm like, are you having trouble in sober spaces? Like, are you imagining going to a wedding where there's no alcohol and how that might make you feel?
You weren't even here yet. Moments before you arrived.
Yep.
I said, well, I really only had fun when I was absolutely drunk. So there is something to interrogate there.
Totally. Well, give me a call, girl.
And on Instagram story, use the phrase low key alcoholism.
I saw the low grade alcoholism.
Are there grades of alcoholism? Is that something that comes up in program?
No, it's a physical allergy. You've got it or you don't.
Well, okay, you know what? I actually Googled the term alcoholism. And I was like,
am I gay? Googling am I gay quiz as a third grader. Get fucked. All right, alcoholism.
And I'm like, I don't have that.
Mm-hmm.
But I do.
No, totally.
I do have a drinking problem.
Ooh, that's good. I'm like, now that is As an addict, respect.
My brain has got attract, don't promote. Attract, don't promote.
As a fellow addict, game recognizes game.
Like, you guys, I was like, oh, I don't do that. I don't do that. I don't do that. I just only put myself in social situations in which I'm expected to drink, and I adhere.
How did Philip Seymour Hoffman overdose? No?
Heroin.
Oh. No.
Yeah.
And by the way, I just found out watching the third movie for the second time that man was not 70 years old.
Yeah. You know what's not great for you? Heroin and alcohol.
Right.
Acting's really bad for you, especially the younger you get into it, the worse it is for you.
Just look at Anne Hathaway. Stunning.
It's gorgeous.
Stunning, also concerning. Also,
a little something going on there, no?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, with award seasons the way they are this year, it's shocking to see like what has been normalized there and that's being projected out to us, and it reminds me of a little thing called the Capitol.
It does. The emaciation of the celebrities is giving Hunger Games. It's like they are preparing us to starve.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like it's kind of a psyop of like, hey guys, like food scarcity might get really real for a lot of people. Don't worry, thin is in.
You think that they're kind of manufacturing consent for starvation because they're being so small?
Yeah.
I guess one
I do think that
piece of wisdom that Gale offers in this movie is like when they're in the Capitol and he's maybe eating caviar, he's like, hey, I get it. If I was eating like this, I'd believe whatever somebody told me too.
Right.
So
now Gale's plot in this movie, these two movies that should have been one movie. What's going on with that? I thought it was like when she breaks up with Gale kind of at the end because of the bombing of her sister is dead. And it's like, you were supposed to protect my family. And then also like, did you know that Coin was going to bomb those children? Like, is it your fault? Like, and I'm kind of like, isn't he just a soldier? Why would that be his fault? I don't think he really could have protected Primrose in that situation. He had just been kind of taken by the peacekeepers. I just thought it was a little unfair. Am I wrong?
I feel like you're wrong because the whole thing for Katniss and like Gale's relationship is the tension was what their belief systems were. And so it was never about like what caused it or whatever. It was more about like Gale thought that was fine.
Oh, for Gale, it was worth it for the resistance.
Yeah, and Gale has always been operating from like, well, of course, it's the Vanessa Hudgens COVID thing. Of course they're going to die.
Which is sad, but like inevitable.
Yeah, but inevitable. Whereas like Katniss just like does not operate from there at all and doesn't even see like a sliver of that perspective because she's so focused on her family.
Yeah, and you do really see that in Katniss. When those kids get bombed, that performance from J-Law is...
She turns in a performance.
And now I already talked about when they're visiting the Capitol. She was on Quaaludes.
Yeah, we did talk about that. I think we spoke on it.
Next.
And it's hard. This is the other thing about these movies is it's like I just keep thinking about like them bombing the kids because it's hard to remember anything that happened before that. When they bomb the children and the medics at the end of the movie, it's like, whoa. I forgot about everything that came before because that was so crazy.
Isn't the U.S. doing that right now?
We're bombing the kids and the medics.
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't we just bomb an elementary school?
Yeah, and then like we're releasing the files, like we're doing all this other.
Yeah,
and we're doing the merger.
Files.
Yeah, so we're all paying attention to that.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that we bombed an elementary school, and obviously "we" feels like a loaded word. Like I didn't have anything to do with that.
Just paid for it, yeah.
But just paid for it with my taxes, and it's like, well, that's no fucking good. What are we supposed to do? Are we gonna like...
Well, what this does too, right, is like there is from the beginning of like fault, right? Like one thing that Hunger Games talks about is like, no, they're in these two movies that is Mockingjay, like the cost of war and like how much we're willing to accept as like, you know, casualty. And Katniss is the very hard line of none. We're accepting hurting nobody.
Right.
And the first thing that we see, which kind of does make me laugh, is like, you know, Katniss gets to the front line. She's like, you know, we don't actually have to hurt anybody. And the first thing happens, she tries to help somebody who then pulls a gun on her and is going to shoot her. And it's like, good morning, right?
But it's like, and this is her 11th time experiencing this, because literally in District 11, the first one they visit, like the guy does the little thing and is immediately shot before her eyes. So she already knows like whatever she does, like does have a domino effect. And the fact that she's still unable to fully metabolize that into changing her actions at all is something to be said.
Yeah, it's also like her whole aim, right, is I'm going to kill President Snow. That's the first time we've ever heard her want to kill somebody, right? She wants to kill President Snow. And even PETA, like, kind of supports her, like, with that whole speech when she's like, I lied to you guys, and I'm really here to kill President Snow, and Coin didn't tell me to. And they're all like, we know. And PETA's like, yeah, kill President Snow, end all this violence, then all these deaths won't be for no reason. But my thing about that is it's like, I love that the ending is realizing Coin is just as bad as Snow and would also do a Hunger Games and whatever. But I'm like, you kind of could have known that, because like this past year was the 75th Hunger Games. Like that precedes President Snow. Like that guy, like it's like, yeah, people in power do this. There's not a regime change that's going to ultimately be, you're not going to be saved by a regime, right? Like you're not going to be saved by a new person in power. Power corrupts absolutely, right? And it's like, clock it, Katniss. Like killing President Snow doesn't actually solve your problem. And I do find it interesting that in this movie, though, she kills Coin and Snow, and then I guess we kind of are in a problem-solved world, because then they have a free democratic election where somebody wins, and then
somebody else, another victor, steps up, and it's appointed, right? Which in all the questions it asks, it's like, well, then what is it? And I think that's why we get, instead of, Susan Sarandon Collins decides that she's going to write a series of prequels as opposed to an after. I would like to know what happens in between the end of Mockingjay, like in the time period between when Katniss has her family, Katniss and PETA have their family.
Yeah.
But it's like, well, what the fuck is she supposed to show? Because it's much easier to show a crumbling world and the problems that are there, as opposed to like, what is actually the solution? Because no, it's not, we can't just kill everybody who might be a leader. We can't just.
Right. Which I think like Suzanne probably made the choice of like, well, these books are for me to explore these philosophical questions, and what's going to set me up best for that in a way that's like clear and connected to a story plot. And I think there's such like an up in the air and an unresolvedness to that in between that she's like, well, that's not even going to be interesting for a young adult to read, because it's just like, there's no answer.
I guess if there's no answer, it also, like, when you ask about like what did you just say?
I don't know. As I said, I kind of disagreed. Suzanne Collins did not choose to write a sequel, only prequels, because she's so fixated on a young person having philosophical tension. And so it's not so interesting for somebody who's already gone through all those things to then be an adult figuring that out in a new world. It's so much more interesting to be like, how has this always been a thing young people go through? And it's so interesting because we know Snow as an adult, or we know Haymitch as an adult. We know them as they've hardened, but we don't know what they were like when they were little. And like the whole point of the Hunger Games is like, when you are young, you do believe change is possible, and then you get hardened by the world and believe less, or care less, or engage less. And so I think like the whole point for Suzanne's like main characters or protagonists is that they are still figuring out what is right and wrong to them. So it wouldn't be so interesting to explore somebody later on in their life.
Yeah, but I guess when you're trying to send a message to kids about how to structure a government or handle oppression and change, right? Like the solution at the end is marry Peta, have some babies, and like kind of say fuck off to society.
Right.
Like kind of is eject, right? At the end of the day, that's what she did. The best thing for her.
This is what's so upsetting to me about the end of the film.
Yeah.
Is like, oh, do exactly what they want you to do.
Yeah.
Like,
fuck off. Like.
Right. Leave.
Or like just focus on your nuclear family unit. Don't strive for anything greater. Just exist within the system quietly and obediently.
Totally. And I see that as like as a messaging. I have an issue with it. Obviously in the movie, I'm very happy for Katniss and Peta. They really have been through the ringer. They really deserve the quiet life. And it's nice to see when they're sitting kind of in the doorway in the rain. I'm like, well, they've earned this, and I'm happy to see them sitting there enjoying this lifestyle. But it's a messaging.
But also, why did they have to earn it?
Why did they have to earn it? Did they have to earn peace? Must you earn peace?
Yeah. Like the phrase, like, they earned that because of all the
what they'd been through.
It's like, no, none of that should happen.
They earned that by being born as a free human being.
Earn or deserve. And that comes again to the scene that you said spoke too much about you at the end, where once the Snow's regime has collapsed, Julianne Moore is sitting there, and they bring up that conversation of should we do Hunger Games?
And President Coyne, earnestly, no cap, goes, hey, kiddos, you think we should keep the good vibes going?
Yeah.
Like, what do y'all think? And actually, remind me, who says yes? Get them like they got us.
Well, who do you think? What do you think Peta said?
Peta said no.
What a fucking.
Yeah.
It's like, whatever.
Okay, bread boy.
I think Joanna said yes.
Which is interesting to me.
She was an enthusiastic,
yes.
Because she's so angry.
She hates those people
at how evil, yeah.
She offers, again, one of my favorite takes on death is that she says something like, oh, when Katniss says, I'm going to go kill Snow, she's like, yeah, like, anybody can kill anybody. They just have to be willing to sacrifice themselves. Like, the only thing, like, you can own or take whosever life you want at the risk of and sacrifice of your own, right? Like in a world where there is not just like nice, it's like if you don't value life at its base, at least her argument is it's a self-preservation, right? Whether you care whether somebody else lives or dies, if you think that that's wrapped up in your own survival, then it's more compelling.
Well, and actually, let's take a moment for Joanna, because I really feel for her in this movie. You remember that conversation she has with Katniss? It's like in the hospital, and she's like, you know, Katniss is like, it should have been you. You have stronger convictions than me. Like, you should have been the Mockingjay. And she's like, I can't because I'm not likable. And that's been the case my whole life. Like, you're like, and I'm like, oh, likability politics and the way that comes into it. Because Katniss is dealing this whole movie, right, with like, and all of the movies preceding, why me? Why do all these people believe in me? Why does everybody keep putting me in this position, right? And like, I've lied, I've killed people, I've gone through all of this. Like, why does everybody keep looking to me? Do I deserve this? And she keeps getting reminded, people keep dying for her, and she obviously doesn't want that. And they keep saying, no, it's worth it. You're supposed to live. You're supposed to do this. Like, it's you. You're special. You're the one, right? And like, to be the kind of chosen one in that journey, and she really doesn't want to be. And it is, at the end of the day, I'm like, well, why is it Katniss? And it's like, is there something fundamentally unique about her? Or is she just, compared to, say, a Joanna Mason, better positioned, more likable, an easier symbol?
The problem with somebody who wants to be a leader is that they want that power. And so it is like, yeah, of course everybody likes Katniss because she isn't opting into being that voice. Because if she was, it's like class presidents. It's like they wanted that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, but they go on to get really good grades at Canada's top business schools, every single one of them.
Literally that part.
Well, with likability, Erin, you asked that question of like what makes Katniss so special, and for the life of me, I can't figure it out except that she's played by Jennifer Lawrence. Just kidding. She has a lot of great qualities. Like she can be masculine when she wants to protect her feminine dream of raising children.
Yeah.
And when she can do them in a feminine way. But like a question came up for me: is Katniss inevitable? Right? Because what I'm hearing from is like no, because it couldn't have been Joanna, but like it could have been anybody, and it is only Katniss by like a fluke of fate. Like what is it?
And it is interesting. Like why not Peeta?
Well, also because I think it's the moment. Because I think the whole thing, all of the ending of Mockingjay Part 2, like Katniss was created by the moment she volunteered for her sister. If Primrose was never selected, there is no Katniss. Right. You know what I mean? It was that simple. It was that act. It was the fact that she cares about her family that created this whole figure. You know what I mean? Like, and so it's like, it's not completely inevitable. It couldn't just be someone who cares. Nope. I bet a lot of people who've been in the Hunger Games would have wanted to help the rebellion or would have wanted to be a leader and wanted to do these things, you know? Joanna fucking hated the Capitol. Finnick has been involved in the resistance this whole time. Like, these other victors exist. It's just that Katniss's story is so deeply compelling because of her volunteering for her sister from that district. Like, it's like a lot of, I wonder if in a resistance movement, you're waiting for someone with this movie's so concerned with narrative arc, right? Yeah. And it understands the power of storytelling. Until you have someone with a story like Katniss's, can you build a movement around them, right? Like there is a randomness element to it.
Well, it's almost like the Katniss only being rebellious because she cares about her family then acts as like the avatar for everybody who's like, I don't want to change a whole system. Like, I don't know how to fight the government. Like, I literally just care that my wife's okay.
Yes.
And so it like finally gave like the connecting narrative to the greater system.
Yes.
That actually ignited the change, which I think like you can see like now with everything going on constantly, where it's like until it like affects you on like a way that you feel deeply connected to,
right,
it feels too big and abstract to like really matter.
Right. Well, and that's where I wonder, I'm like, well, who's got today, if we're gonna do like that one lady who won an Oscar for something, not one of the actors, one of the behind the scenes people who won an Oscar, and she gave a speech where she said, "Stop all wars," and I said, I think she did it. Like, that's going to work. Finally, someone saying at the Oscars, "Stop all wars." Like, it's like, okay, how are we going to stop all wars? Who's our Mockingjay? You know what I mean? Like, is it Luigi Mangione? Not quite. Who is it? What's the story that's going to get us to like see everything's fucked up? We have to kill the president and the next president and then do what?
Yeah.
So anyway, that didn't make any sense, but
it is. I think, well, that's what people are always talking. Yeah, that's what people are always trying to figure out. But it's like within our two-party system, right? It's like, who's going to be that figure? And it's like not somebody comes from within this system. It's going to be somebody else.
Charlie Kirk, we carry the flame.
I was just talking to a millennial who was like, Gen Z is addicted to being a victim. And I was like, we are victims. Like,
yeah.
Everybody's a victim.
All generations are victims, though.
That's
right?
the whole thing.
And then the claim that does come back, it's like, right, where while I hold all space for like all of the interpretations, I think anything that comes up is valid and should be considered with everything else it comes up with. But like her having these kids at the end, like, that is the choice and the thing that she did want. Like, part of what we are actually, like, it's not that she has kids and fucked off, right? In order to get to that thing that she genuinely seems to want, she has to fight and push for it. And so it's like, if Katniss wanted to have an easy life, she could have just fucking not said yes. You know what I mean? She should have not raised her hand for her sister. She could have gotten killed easier. Like, there are a lot of opportunities to not be the Mockingjay, and it's like,
she does keep taking them.
It's just, you got this one, babe. Sorry. This is everyone's got a hand here. You've got one. And this movie there are lots of lines about like, we're all slaves to the Capitol, to Snow. No one has a choice. Our lives are Snow's. And it's like, if that is the case, right, then it does almost leave with like me with a hopeless taste in my mouth, because it's like, well, then what the fuck are you supposed to do, right?
Right. And that's I guess I mean the hopelessness by the continually talking about snow in this movie that is then kind of like undercut or strengthened by needing to also kill Coin. Is it's like it's actually not snow, it's the system. Right? It's actually not snow, it's not Coin, it's the very nature of the haves and the have-nots, right? In order to have the luxury of the capital, you have to have the suffering districts. It's like the entire system. And then how do you have suffering districts so they don't uprise? You keep them in fear, right? So that's how you create the Hunger Games in the first place. It's like this system of inequality necessarily creates people who abuse their power. So...
And we get taken, distracted for better or for worse by Katniss, by
saviors,
by a Snow, by a Coin. Well, an individual, and putting that on, because it's easier to talk about an individual person than it is an abstract concept, and that's what that helped me realize is like I kept getting not confused, but frustrated. I was like, why do they keep talking about Snow? Right. I'm like, he's not Snow has your life. I'm like, he's gonna die at the end of this movie.
He already seemed just sick old. He's a sick old man.
Yeah, he's sick. Like, he doesn't have his own life, babe.
I like that little scene when he was with the girl from And Just Like That, who goes to Pilates at Equinox Domino.
Yes.
Love her ass.
Love her. Girl, do you miss Alexis Sweeney on Mondays? I do. What happened to her? Loved seeing you there.
We gotta find her.
She's not doing.
I haven't seen Alexis Sweeney on the schedule.
Wow.
I know. I don't know if she's doing a retreat or what's going on, but
that is big. Now, Haymitch going with what Katniss says when Katniss is like, "Sure, let's kill the kids every year."
Yeah.
Why, and what's going on there?
I think Haymitch hitched his wagon to Katniss.
Do you think he knew she had something planned?
I think he trusted that she did.
I think he trusted she did. I also wonder if that's one of those scenes, you know how because Philip Seymour Hoffman died, he'd shot most of the movie, but not all of it. I imagined that was a scene. Wouldn't he have been at that table?
Like I think he was in that.
Why wouldn't he have been at that table? I know he's not a victor, but I think he's been like Coin's right hand and is so involved in the resistance. Like I think he would have been in that scene, and I think he's more one who would have clocked that Katniss has a bigger plan.
Do you remember if he was in that?
No, he's not in it. I'm saying I think he...
In the book.
Oh, in the book.
I don't remember.
Oh.
Okay.
But I think, like, what's interesting about that is up until this point, Haymitch hasn't trusted Katniss with anything like that.
Yeah.
Because she's not trustworthy.
Right.
So it's interesting to me that in this moment, he's like, I do trust her choice. Because up until this point, all he's done is, like, drag her out of these choices that are, like, actively harming everyone.
Right, right. Yeah, I don't know. I think he just, like... Maybe that was the moment he just finally trusted her?
Yeah.
But also why? I don't know. Part 2 was kind of a slog. Like, it was so much we spent so much time just, like, in tunnel and doing these action movie sequences with the mutts and the tar and all of this stuff and all of these fights and these explosions. And I was like, okay, I wasn't really here to watch a Marvel movie. I would have much rather had kind of like a conversation with Peeta and like a conversation with Plutarch and a conversation with Gale. Like, it was a lot of like action.
I could have definitely used a little bit more Peeta dialogue.
A lot more Peeta.
I feel like we really, like, he's representing a type of person rather than, like, who is our guy?
We really lost him in this film, I think.
Yeah, and I know...
he seemed like an extra that they were trying to avoid paying a day rate to.
Yeah. Like, I'm like, is it because his mind isn't fully there? Maybe. But I don't know. It pissed me off. It pissed me off how... unceremonious the death of Finnick and Primrose were.
Couldn't agree more. Phoenix for sure. Especially, I'm like, you died in the same montage that like 3 other people died. You didn't get your own kind of special death. Weird.
Very bizarre to me.
And also all these other people that we've kind of just met.
Yeah, where it's like, I don't even know them. And they're sisters? What?
And they're sisters, and I'm like supposed to care about them as much as I care about Finnick. I've been with Finnick for multiple movies.
It gets a little bit convoluted.
I wonder what happens. Like, is it a timing thing? Is that like
I think it's the two movies
did
issue.
she not have but the movie's based off of.
I remember listening to the audiobooks like all within a week, and the third one definitely was the most like, wait, what?
She's doing it different, and the movie.
Yeah.
It's not like the movie didn't do a good job of keeping with the book. The book wasn't like it's faithful to the movie. That's why I was like the scenes that you and I felt like they didn't build or have like dramatic stakes or tension. It's like. Yeah, that was in the book. And for some reason, they decided to have allegiance to the novel as opposed to allegiance to good storytelling or a compelling film.
Which I understand because a lot of paying people are saying, I want it to be like the book.
Right.
And they would be mad if it wasn't like the book.
Well, a lot of other people are also like, we want Mockingjay. We want the third Hunger Games. We want the third Hunger Games.
Yeah.
And then somebody with one of our 3 haircuts has to get on the phone and be like, hey, Suzanne, we actually, we've got that deadline coming up and we are behind on this thing. And I know it's a short turnaround, but like, we're really excited to read the pages. And it's fucking mutts. It's fucking scenes that don't end. They just stop.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like we got a little bit of the slop, the enshittification and slop.
And they just stop is ours.
I also think it's like, it reminds me of when we watched The Last of Us and we were really bothered by the new characters and all their plots and all these. And it's like, it's really hard to introduce new characters when I'm already attached. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, I was signed up. I'm in on the Katniss and Peeta show. And this movie introduced so many other people that it's distracting when I'm like, I want to pay attention to that. That's what you got me here with. And I've lost it in this film because I have to keep getting to know all these people who then die within one movie or 1 hour. You know what I mean?
Kind of meaninglessly.
I do think that they knew that though. Like, why would we be introducing all these characters? And it's like, because the stakes are no longer I want to win the games.
Right.
The stakes are like, what do I want for the 12 districts? Like, it does like become not man versus man, but like man versus world in a way that like we have to introduce these things because Katniss and Peeta are being introduced to these things and that's influencing how they act, which I mean, I also would just love it to be Peeta and Katniss. But I do think, like, for Suzanne to make the point she wanted to make by the end of the third book, it had to be like, yeah, there's going to be 500 new people you meet, and that's going to be really confusing for you, which I think, like, really is similar to, like, when you go from middle school to high school, and there's 1,000 new people, and you're like, wait a second.
I'm so impressed with your ability to so regularly bring it back to the experience of being in middle or high school.
Oh, yeah.
Your awareness of the adolescent reading of this is
you're really
striking.
Reparenting. You're really reparenting your child in a way that anybody that I know with kids, I'm like, I don't know, you should talk to my friend Amelia. She's a really great parent.
Wow.
I do think I'm only starting to process like 14, 15.
Yeah.
So I'm better to speaking to that rather than like college or like the last 4 years. I don't really know anything yet.
Wow.
So,
you guys, should we watch The Ballad of Songbird and Snakes?
I think it's time.
And before we go, should we do a quick check-in on your hope, where you saw queerness, and my whistling?
Yes. Let's hear your whistling first.
Okay. I'm kind of nervous you were going to say that because here's the thing, y'all. What you have to understand is when I was watching Mockingjay Part 2, like, I whistled really good, and I don't know if I can repeat it, but I'm going to try my best. Hold on. And now it's worse than ever, but I promise you guys, I did do it and it felt really good.
It sounded like hope that time. Something about its weakness makes it feel like, even though it's not strong. Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
No, it's good. Well,
persistence is the future.
Yeah.
Hope. My relationship to hope.
Hope is a dangerous thing for a woman like me to have, but I have it. What are you hoping to
get out of the Hunger Games franchise?
Yeah.
Do y'all remember really quick what I've been saying?
throughout this.
Yeah, the first time, what did I say? And the second time, because I don't know.
You've been oscillating. You had hope, and then I think you had less hope, and then I think you still ultimately had hope. So I guess the question is, after Mockingjay parts 1 and 2, do you have any hope left?
Good.
Okay, so basically, my relationship to hope right now is it's kind of this Katniss sadness of like, I guess literally the only way change happens is by a lot of destruction, and that's really sad.
By a lot of creation. And in fact, creation and destruction, I don't think are opposites so much. I think that they're part of building.
That's beautiful.
Do you ever think about how when women are really angry, that they'll like bake bread or like create a craft?
I clean, yeah.
Like create some like a product or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they're angry, just destroy things. Like, what is that about?
Let's ask Taylor Frankie Paul.
Wait, hold on. And then what? And you said and men just destroy things?
Like men, I know when they're angry will like break a table or like take something nice and like
annihilate
it
their
down,
family.
Which not to say that men and women don't do both, but I do think like the women that I know who have a really bad day are like, I'm learning to ferment my own yogurt so I can feel a sense of control. And then men, when they're angry, they're like, yeah, I just broke up with my lover and threw a can across the room. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's that young women girls keep a diary, and young men keep punching holes in the wall.
Yeah.
And having to kind of cover it up with drywall.
And you know what? I love when they gender fuck it and you meet a girl punching the wall.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Because everyone wants to punch the wall. That's what I'm saying. And everybody also wants to like.
And boys, I do think want to journal.
Obvious, for sure. Well, and I think that's where you're right about Katniss does embody something that is special about her is the way she's got those masculine and feminine qualities, because you know that girl punched walls
and chooses to embrace them both. Yeah. Right? It's like we all have those, and where we hurt ourselves and and limit what we can give to the world is by only performing half of humanity.
And I think it's so satisfying for like young people to watch Katniss do that, because this is coming out around the time where every movie was like, let's turn this masculine cop into a beautiful pageant queen. Like that was the plot of every movie where it's
Sandra Bullock was good in all of them.
She was so good in all of them, but it was the idea of like, you're either the bookworm or Regina George. Right. And then you learn to embrace the other one rather than like, it's just so binary.
Yeah.
And then it's like, and then we gave her a damn makeover. But Katniss does this amazing thing of like, her motivations are feminine and her way her passion plays out masculine.
And yet, but then the thing that is in conflict all the time and she has to navigate is that the binary isn't there in real life, which is to say that the times that she does want to fight, it's not always the most effective. She has to speak. She has to use messaging. Her likability, a word that is often put upon women. We don't care whether men are likable. And so, like, she often has to be, like, she has to access both in order to survive. She simply must.
Yeah.
I really like this movie. I wish they had cut it as a movie and not as a two-part made-for-TV movie.
Yeah, totally.
Event.
Yeah. Did you see any queerness in this text?
Did I see? Of course. And oh God. Okay, so my kind of obstinance is like Suzanne Sarandon Collins didn't try that hard on this. Like, why should I look for I'm like,
I see.
I'm like, I don't think that she cooked, so I'm not gonna eat it. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, oh, I can't. That's raw. So wow. I don't mean to be rude, but that will make me sick. And like being like. It's unclear, and that's maybe ultimately where I come down on this is like she can't really have or how much can allegory or closeness be? Because it's like she's not actually making something about the United States or America or capital. She's just making her thing, and it can't be a stand-in because the only thing that it is real or not real. And so she's just trying to make sense of everything. I'm like, I don't think she has a coherent worldview. That's what I mean. She made this world, but she doesn't have a coherent this worldview. It's impossible.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, and what a different temperature I think all of us are at compared to. It's so hard to land a plane, y'all, for all writers, filmmakers, like novel. Like when you tell an epic story, like where have we ever seen a satisfying ending? You know what I mean? It's really tough to do to keep it coherent, right? Because it's like we really felt lit up about the worldview she started in the first Hunger Games. And then by the end, we're like, ooh,
Things are complicated.
it's getting complicated and hairy. It reminds me of like Game of Thrones, like other. It's just like, oh, yeah, y'all didn't land where you started.
I think Hilary Duff's Cinderella story has the most satisfying ending of any movie I've ever seen.
When it rains.
Well, the rain, and then she finds the will in the storybook.
Yeah.
And then she gets to go to college.
Yeah.
She gets the guy.
Yeah.
She gets the diner.
Yeah.
And, like, she gets friends. Like,
Yeah.
she gets a future.
Yeah.
And then the people who treated her terribly, she gives a job.
Yeah, you're right. That's a fabulously satisfying ending of a film.
With amazing...
The end of this
But
film
I wouldn't
was
call it
good,
an epic.
But the end of the film we liked.
Yeah.
We didn't like this entire whole as an ending. Like as two films, it was a bad ending. The movie itself ended fine, but it's like that's why I think something happened. You know what I mean? Like you can't. I am like, you know, like we had this test date for months. She got the flu. Everyone in her family had the flu. Like she took a bad test. I don't know what to say. Like and unfortunately, she doesn't get a retry. That's not the policy that we get. We don't have retries.
I did see some queerness in the film. At the end, when Haymitch and Effie kiss on the lips, I said, kind of lavender marriage kind of vibes. I said, I didn't know y'all had that relationship. That was interesting to me.
Period. I don't remember them kissing. That's
They kiss on the lips. He gives her. They're saying goodbye forever, because he's gonna go to 12 with Katniss, and then he kisses her on the cheek, and then it's quick. It's not a passionate makeout. And then they just kiss on the lips and then walk away. And I said, what was that?
That's how queer people say goodbye. It was an air kiss. It was a real kiss.
It was a real kiss.
It was a real kiss.
Real or not real?
Lisa kissed me.
Real.
Well, this is Stream Queens the pod. There is, believe it or not, even more of this universe that we have all just grown so fond of and can't wait to continue to stay in. This time it's a musical. Things keep getting better.
Oh my God.
I'm so excited to watch the musical, and I'm begging if anyone at ABC is listening to this to please
change your mind.
Please change your mind. It's not too late. We will forgive you. It will be just like an HBO Max situation. Like, we'll forgive you. Release The Bachelorette this Sunday.
ABC, you
Release
have the right
files.
You have the chance to do the right thing. Let that abuser on the air.
And you know what? It's never too late to change your mind.
It's just totally the Diane Wynn, like, how could America solve the gun problem is a bunch of women get guns and then they all get outlawed. It's like what? She does violence on TV, or she does violence in her personal life, and now she can't be on TV for it. I'm like,
It's insane. Every man on TV.
Literally.
It's fine unless you're gay.
Let Taylor Frankie Paul do The Bachelorette.
Yeah, maybe she doesn't need to be around that kid. But I wouldn't say that either. Yeah, I'm like, I'm not asking. She's not competing. It's not who's the best parent. It's who's the bachelor. Like
seriously, folks. I'm Erin.
I'm Julia.
And I'm Amelia.
And you can find Stream Queens the Pod everywhere you get your podcasts, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. You can also find us on social media at Stream Queens the Pod on TikTok and Instagram. You can also get 10% off of a Tushy bidet at hello.tushy.com with code STREAMQueens. Also, stream Amelia's podcast, which is Girls Rewatch Podcast. And also, follow That's Girls Church on Instagram.
Yes.
And watch Sister, folks.
On YouTube.
Watch Sister on YouTube, short of the week.
Bye.
Bye, friends.
Bye.